Hey there. It's me, Eden. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe to my channel and visit my Patreon page for early access, link in the comment, thanks. The next school week flew by. I had been accepted by my fellow students and was beginning to make friends with the girls in my classes, and I had started to eat lunch more and more with my own friends instead of with Carol's. I was still being stared at by all of the boys in my classes and the boys that I passed in the hall, but no one had approached me, and only a few in my classes had even talked to me, other than a nod or quick hello. That was okay with me, since I was so preoccupied with my acting roles that I didn't want to have to start thinking up excuses for refusing dates. On Friday, I went straight home from school and went to bed. I would probably be working very late and I wanted to be as alert as possible, for as long as possible. At 8 p.m. Mom woke me up and I started getting ready to go to Barrett's. I grabbed a quick bite for dinner just before Mom and I left for the mall. We entered Barrett's from the rear employee entrance, as we had been instructed. The mall would be closing about now and they would be herding people out the main doors. The rear entrance allowed us access to Mr. Greening's office area and we walked there under the watchful eyes of the security cameras mounted in the hallways. The receptionist asked us to have a seat because Mr. Greening was on the sales floor, but we only had to wait for about 5 minutes before Mr. Greening came in. We sat in his office and discussed the shooting before going out to the sales floor to join the crew from the advertising agency. There were more people in the store than I expected. Several cleaning crews were hard at work cleaning floors and straightening up merchandise displays, while the filming crew was busy setting up at the first location. A production assistant escorted me to a special changing room where the outfits that I would wear had been placed. The room had been, until today, a storeroom. As I entered, I found Barbara and Marge separating dozens and dozens of outfits. Barbara. Marge. As we hugged, I said, "What are you doing here?" Barbara said, "Your mom recommended to the store that we be hired as your wardrobe and makeup people since we had worked together so much. We've been here all afternoon, working with the advertising people to select outfits for you to wear. It's been a nightmare at times. You wouldn't believe some of the things that they wanted you to wear. I had to constantly explain why your figure wouldn't look good in some of the clothes. They kept picking outfits that were designed for 6-foot, 98-pound anorexic fashion models. Those clothes do not hang properly on a 5'4" actress with a healthy bosom. We have finally narrowed down the choices to about 4 dozen selections. We will need 12 for the shots that they have planned." I took a moment to glance at the room. In addition to the racks of clothes, there was an entire section with what appeared to be 100 pairs of shoes, and an entire table filled with jewelry. There was also a makeup area all set up. Marge said, "Everything that you will wear is available for sale at Barrett's." They were very specific on that point. "But Barbara will alter the final selections for your figure, and I'll do your makeup for each outfit. We'd better get started on your first outfit. We have them organized by location shot." Barbara, Marge, and Mom helped me change into the first outfit. Barbara had helped me to take off my corset because it might show beneath the clothes that I would be wearing tonight. Months of wearing the corset virtually around the clock had served to train my waist anyway. Without the corset on, I had a 22-inch waist now. The constant use had rearranged my internal organs, and probably altered the shape of my ribs slightly. I also suspected that the weight that would normally have accumulated on my waist was being stored higher and lower on my frame. While my waist was shrinking, my chest and my tush seemed to be getting bigger even though I had lost a little weight. This would probably change quickly if I stopped wearing the corset altogether, but I could go without wearing it for a certain amount of time each day as long as I wore it whenever I was at home, and whenever my clothes allowed it. I also needed it in order to get into the special costumes that required a smaller waist, such as the dresses with an 18-inch waistline, which I had worn for the play. When I was dressed, Marge worked on my face and hair. She matched my makeup to the outfit and added falls to my hair to give it a greater body and a little length. When she was done, Barbara added the jewelry that she had selected for the shot, and I was escorted back to the first location. It was a pleasure to walk and work in clothes that hadn't been altered to hug my body like a boa constrictor. The crew had the first location all ready. The lights and reflectors were all in place. They had checked their audio levels and set the focus stops on the camera. With my arrival, the crew sprang into action and we began a series of walkthroughs. I had memorized the script and I only needed to learn my marks. Over the next 6 hours, we shot scenes in 8 different locations with 8 different clothing changes. That was only 2/3 of the scenes that had been planned, but it was a minor miracle that we accomplished that much considering that the clothes had not been fitted in advance. After we had shot each of the scenes, a photographer had me pose in different positions for a full roll of still shots at each location. We called it a night at 4 a.m. and arranged to meet again tomorrow night at the same time. I changed back into the clothes that I had arrived in and we left for home. It was fortunate that we didn't live very far away since Mom's eyelids were drooping, and in spite of my nap, I was exhausted also. I don't remember anything after my head hit the pillow until I woke up. I looked at my clock radio and saw that it was noon. The siren at the firehouse must have awakened me when it sounded to signal the noon hour. I sat up and swung my legs over the side of the bed, searching for my fuzzy slippers with my feet as I tried to wake myself awake. After making it to the bathroom and splashing some water on my face, I began to feel a little more awake, so I put on my robe and went downstairs to the kitchen to have a cup of tea and wake up the rest of the way. Carol and Mom were both at the table when I walked in. Carol said, "Well, hello, sleepyhead." Mom said, "Good morning, dear." I gave them a weak smile and said, "Good morning, or rather, good afternoon." Carol said, "Mom told me how late you got in this morning and that you didn't finish." "Yeah, we only got through about 2/3 of the shots. We'll probably have to go until 1 or 2 o'clock again tomorrow morning." "That's too bad. Pete and Sean got concert tickets for our double date tonight." I looked at her for a couple of seconds. "You did tell them that I might not be able to make it, didn't you?" "Yes, I did. But they got an opportunity to get the tickets and they bought them. I feel bad that I won't be able to go. You'll have to find a date for Sean even if he balks because he doesn't want you to see him with anyone else except me." "How about Heather?" "Oh, no, cries. She had the hots for Sean this summer. She'd jump at the chance to spend an evening with him and steal him from you. I know that she's one of my best friends, but you're my sister. I'll find someone to go with us that Sean couldn't possibly get serious about, but who will be good company for one night. I know. I'll call Louise Wilson. She just broke up with that computer geek that she's been dating. She'll be good for one date but not much more. I'll call her right after lunch." "Okay, sis. I hope that you have a good time at the concert tonight. I wish that I could go, but duty calls." Mom said, "What would you like to eat, honey? Breakfast or lunch?" "Breakfast, I guess. It feels like morning even if the hour says otherwise." "Okay, bacon and egg?" "Sounds great. Is there any juice mixed?" Yes, I made it just before you came. It's in the fridge, honey. Great. Anyone else want any? When both Carol and Mom shook their heads, I got up and poured a glass only for myself. Mom made an egg and a couple of pieces of bacon for me. I was stuffed as I finished the last morsel, but it was so good that I wished that I could take off the corset and eat another portion. Carol and Mom enjoyed a BLT sandwich as I ate my egg, bacon, and juice. Mom said that she and Carol would clean up if I wanted to take my bath. Just the thought of relaxing in the tub brought a smile to my face. I was upstairs in minutes, pouring the bath crystals and fragrant oils into the tub as the warm water flooded in. As soon as I could wiggle out of my corset, I was lowering myself into the water. It was heavenly. I leaned back against the end of the tub and closed my eyes. When I awoke, the water was cold and Carol was standing over me. Come on, cries, it's my turn to use the tub. Okay, sis. Sorry. I guess that I fell asleep. Give me a few more minutes so that I can finish up. Okay. Just knock when you're done. I ran some more hot water in so that I could finish washing. I ran a razor over my legs to keep them silky smooth, and did my armpits as well. Standing up when I was done, I hit the drain knob so that the tub could empty. I wrapped a towel around myself as I knocked on Carol's door, and she stepped into the bathroom naked and began running her bath. I walked into my room and dropped my towel as I put on a pair of panties. I was doing a quick inspection of myself in my full-length mirror as Carol came in. Okay, you're beautiful. Now stop admiring yourself and I'll help you with your corset before I get into the tub. I wasn't admiring myself. I was thinking about the way that wearing the corset has affected my body. I think that my rib cage has shrunk. Do you think that it's dangerous? Standing next to me in front of the mirror and looking closely at my torso, she said, I don't know, cries. You don't look deformed or anything. Without the corset you look just like a normal girl to me. Look how similar we look in the mirror. As long as you don't try to get your waist down to 16 inches or anything crazy like that, then I don't think that it's a problem. Do you want to leave it off today? No, I guess not. I just seem to be getting skinnier in the waist and fatter on top and bottom. Especially the bottom. That's normal. You're getting older and the fat gravitates to our hips and thighs. You're still behind me in the behind department, but I'm a year older. You're not fat, Carol. You have a wonderful shape. Thanks, cries. So do you. I think that you're worried for nothing. Okay. Maybe you're right. Your bath will be full soon. Better help me quickly and jump in. A few minutes later, Carol was headed for the tub and I returned to the full-length mirror to have another look. Carol was right. I did look very similar to her. I had always had a very slight build, but where before I had appeared wiry, I now had begun to appear soft. My skin looked softer and I had begun to lose my muscle tone. Months of lack of exercise must be taking its toll. Even without the corset, my shape was definitely female. Of course, a large part of it is the false breasts that are affixed to my chest. They would make a telephone pole appear female. But it was more than that. I couldn't exactly put my finger on it, but the look was unmistakable. Once this is over, I thought, I will have to spend time getting back into shape. For the time being, the soft, female look definitely served my purposes. I sat down at my makeup table to work on my face. I just did a basic job because Marge would do me at the store, and I wasn't planning on going out anywhere. My plan was to work on my homework and lounge around the house until it was time to go to work. I finished dressing after Carol had returned, following her bath, to complete the lacing of my corset. I pulled on a pink sweater and shorts set, and a pair of pink tennis shoes. While I worked on my homework, I heard Carol talking to Louise Wilson. By the time that she was off of the phone, she had arranged for Louise to join them for the concert. She left for Sherry's house a little later as I was doing my trig homework. By 4 o'clock I had finished all of my homework and decided to grab a nap in case it was another late night. Mom had gone to her bedroom earlier to take a nap and the house was very quiet with Carol gone. I lay down fully clothed and fell asleep within 10 minutes. I awoke to Mom gently shaking my shoulder. The time on the clock radio was 7:50. Mom had made dinner and we ate before leaving. Mom told me that Carol had left on her date about 20 minutes earlier, and we left for Barrett's as soon as we had completed our meal. Barbara and Marge were waiting for us when we arrived. The store was still open and we had gone directly to the special dressing room. Barbara started working on me immediately. There were 3 outfits to select from for the first location shoot and I tried on all 3. Barbara liked the third best, so she went about adjusting and pinning me up. By the time that Barbara and Marge had finished with me, the store had been closed, cleared, and the filming crew was ready for the first location. The director showed me my marks and we did several run-throughs before rolling the camera. We only had 4 locations to do tonight, so the director spent a little more time on each until he had a perfect one from each spot. We completed the shooting by 2 a.m. and were home by 2:30. Carol was home already, so we locked up the house and went to bed. I was glad to have the commercials completed. Only the host work now remained to be done. We all slept late the following morning and we didn't eat breakfast until around 11 o'clock. We spent the afternoon cleaning the house and doing the laundry. Between our going to school and Mom's job, weekends were the only time to catch up on chores. By dinner time our chores were complete and we could relax and enjoy our evening meal and then watch a movie afterwards. We retired at our normal time for the first time in several days. The television studio contacted Mom on Tuesday to arrange for me to come to the studio to shoot the hosting sequences. So on Friday, after dinner, we all went to the studio. Even Carol wanted to come this time. The station had their own wardrobe and makeup people to get me ready. I was given a revised copy of the script as they worked. There would also be a teleprompter set up for each of the shots. The 3-act play, plus the introduction, closing remarks, and cast party award had been divided up into 12 segments to allow for insertion of commercials. A commercial from Barrett's would be played during each break, and I would make comments at the beginning, at the start of each segment, and at the completion of the broadcast. Except for the long opening remarks and closing remarks, my lines were not much more than some silly dialogue and simple statements that summarized the previous segment and led into the next. My introduction was a short narrative about the play and author, the history of the community theater, and the actors who would be seen tonight. My closing remarks thanked the audience for watching and expressed my hope that they enjoyed the production, and then entreated them to support the community theater and this station for the quality entertainment that they brought to the community. The dress that they had selected for me to wear was beautiful. It was a long gown similar to the one that I had worn to dinner with Michael, except that it allowed me normal movement. The wardrobe person told me that they had gotten my fitting information from Barbara and the dress was almost perfect when I put it on. Because we were not changing clothes and locations, the shooting progressed at a decent pace. Within 3 hours of starting, we were done and we were home by midnight. I felt great now that the work was behind me. The broadcast was scheduled for next Friday night, and Oliver on Board would be televised the following Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Please subscribe for the next part and visit my Patreon page for early access. Link in the comment. Thanks.